Are you a homeowner looking for a smarter way to manage your finances? Imagine leveraging your home's equity to pay bills or finance significant life events. A home equity line of credit, or HELOC, makes managing your debt easier and more efficient. The Sharp Mortgage team specializes in refinancing home loans, offering tailored solutions that put your financial goals within reach. Why stress with the burden of high-interest debt when you can simplify and save? Seize the opportunity to steer your financial future in the right direction by contacting the experts at the Sharp Mortgage team. Start your journey toward financial freedom today by visiting their website at sharpmortgageteam.com. Remember, your home could be the key to a more secure and prosperous tomorrow. The Sharp Mortgage team, where your financial well-being is their priority.
This is the Triad Podcast Network.
You guys want to kick things off with a dad joke?
Yeah, let's kick things off with the dad joke.
All right, here you go. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot?
What does have 5 toes and isn't your foot, Adam?
My foot.
That's pretty good. I like it.
I'm gonna use that one of my kids. I'm gonna watch them either laugh or roll their eyes. I don't know which.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Pretty good. Yeah, solid.
Did I tell you the one? I think I texted you guys the one about turning 4.
I don't know.
Where I said, it was so weird when my kids turned 4. I didn't even recognize them. It's almost like I'd never seen them before.
Oh, boy. Yikes. Ouch. That one hurt my soul a little bit. You'd never seen them before.
Can you possibly think of a better way to introduce this podcast?
Then with a dad joke? You can say
dad joke.
I think the only better way to introduce the podcast is to go. And then you can say something like, welcome, everyone, to Triad Dads with a Drink. It is a podcast where 3 guys get together and talk about things that are vaguely related to something resembling fatherhood-ish stuff.
I want to see how much higher your voice can inflect with that.
Something
question.
like fatherhood, maybe.
You're going to have to auto-tune that in post to just really take it to the next level.
Maybe. Only the dogs are freaking out in the backyard. No one else can hear it.
Yeah, dogs are going to love this part of the show.
Yeah,
or they're going to hate it.
Welcome to Triad Dads with a Dog.
They are sadly our biggest audience at this point of our career.
Probably are. They probably are.
Yeah.
I like that.
People try to listen while they go on walks with their dog, and it's so bad that they're just, I cannot put these. I cannot listen to this anymore.
Put them on the
I'm putting
dog.
the headphones on the dog.
I'm still giving them the download because they're friends, but goodness, I can't take one more second. It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys doing all right? Everybody looking good? Everybody's looking good and summery.
Yeah.
Good.
Kids back in school.
Man.
Kids back in school.
Oh my gosh.
No, they're not.
Back in school.
Oh, that's right.
Which,
That's
by
right.
the way, we could do this podcast for an hour and a half, and somebody could probably listen to it start to finish just sitting in the car lines on the first week of school.
First week's school car lines are
How do we
unreal.
forget how to do this?
Well,
Honestly.
So you're pouring in, it's like Carline is like a pot of water that by the end of the year gets to a nice rolling boil. But then at the beginning of every year, you pour in a cup of cold water, which is all the kindergarten parents.
Freezing cold water.
Freezing cold water. Ice. You just dump in a handful of ice. That's the kindergarten parents. And you've already taken the stove off the eye. And then the hottest water has moved on to another pot. So what you're left with is just this confusing broth of lukewarm water that doesn't exactly know how to flow properly. It's tepid. It is. It's a tepid situation. And so it's tough to get it back to a boil. What do you think about week 3? About week 3, it starts to at least simmer.
Yeah.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because we have sat in car line drop off for at least an average of 25 minutes each morning. And we tried to leave the house early. I mean, we've been just making it into school on time by the skin of our teeth.
One of my heroes, and I don't know him well enough to ask him to do this, but maybe some crazy things will happen and he'll come on the show one day. There's a dad who volunteers at our school whose job it is to keep the car line moving in the morning and to fold in the 2 car lines. Dave knows who I'm talking about. He's a guy who looks just like Nick Offerman, otherwise known as
Yes.
Ron Swanson.
I forgot that guy.
Yeah,
Still
his name is Tony, and he's the best. And he keeps that stuff moving, and he deals with sometimes he's had parents try to fight him. He's stopping cars left and right, directing traffic like one of those British traffic directors with the whistle who are just all over the place like a classical conductor. Yeah. It's not that involved, but it is. He does an impressive job, and he does it every single day, and it's incredible. I
think that
hats
guy
off to him.
I think for a guy like that, we need to bring back the what was it, Bud Light Real Men of Genius commercials.
Yeah, Real Men of Genius.
Let's talk about Tony, the traffic director for school drop off.
Yeah, keeps the confused kindergarten parents moving. Yeah. Yeah. How much of that can we do before we get sued by Budweiser?
Minimize the brake lights.
Minimize the brake lights.
Hey, who are you, guy, who came up with the wonderful metaphor for the reset of school drop off every morning when the school year starts? Who are you?
That would be Tim. I am Tim, and I'm a dad, and I live in the Triad of North Carolina. I have a beautiful wife. She's wonderful and lets me do things like go down to my basement and make jokes with my friends. And I also have 2 kids, Piglet and Chicklet, who are now 9 and 10, 4th and 5th grade. We've been doing this podcast a while. How about you, guy with the shamrock hat?
I know.
A little tribute hat.
That's right. Good St. Patty's Day look here in August. So first, I'm gonna do an audio check. So we did this beforehand. Adam, does my mic sound okay?
It does. It sounds
okay.
better than
I realized it was even though it's plugged in, it was defaulting to the AirPods.
Yeah, I don't think you were on the mic before, but now your voice sounds
now I am.
It's so velvety. It's good. It's very nice.
Silky.
Ooh, it's so silky. Soft.
You're welcome, listeners. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes. So speaking of the fact that our kids are older, I'm going to go ahead and declare this. This is the start of season 5 of the pod.
No.
Yeah. I think our first one was September of 2020.
Hey,
which I'll remember because of the katydids in the background while we were sitting in the garage. And I'm realizing it's August. We took summer break like everybody else, right? We did a pod in May, took the summer off. We're back here and started school season. Season 5.
Season 5.
Best season ever.
It's pretty amazing. I know.
Yeah.
Best one.
We're doing 6 seasons in a movie? 6 seasons in a movie, right? Yeah.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you guys watch Community?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
6 seasons in a movie. You should watch that, Adam. You would like Community.
I finally dove into The Bear, and I'm halfway through season 2 now.
That is it. The Community is not nearly as anxiety inducing.
I was going to say
as
that
The
show
Bear.
just gives me anxiety.
It is incredibly anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Watched one episode and I was like, nope.
I love it. I love that show. I think it's fantastic, but it's.
I think if you spend as much time as you did in Chicago, you would love the show as much as you do.
I don't know if I would. There are things like there is. I think it's in season 1 where they do this musical montage to Sufjan Stevens' Chicago with just like a montage of the city. It's like a 3 or 4 minute opening montage, and it's just gorgeous. And yeah, I don't know if moments like that would be quite as endearing if I didn't spend some time there, and especially spend like my formative years right after college there. But it's still a great show. I love the show. It's a good cast, good performances.
I love the music. I like
the music's amazing.
Is great touch to it.
Unbelievable soundtrack. I think it's one of the best TV soundtracks, which Dave doesn't even know about. You never even saw that. You're like, nope, can't handle it.
And
I don't blame you. I don't blame anyone who, for mental health reasons, does not want to watch that show. I totally get it. I love it, but it's not for everybody.
It's not the kind of show you want to watch before you go to bed. So, guy,
how about you,
awesome
guy?
Shamrock hat.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome shamrock hat.
I think we interrupted you, so go ahead.
No, it's all good. So so 5th year of the podcast. I'm Dave. I'm married, beautiful, amazing wife, 2 kids, Sneak and Star, and Yeah, good to be back for season 5. And how about you,
Far
backwards
east
hat leader?
reaches of the Triad.
That's right. That's right.
I am Adam. I'm delighted to learn that we are in season 5. I love that we have kept this going for this long. I am married as well, and thank you to my beautiful wife for also allowing me to come downstairs and talk to my friends about nonsense, especially on a night where I was coming in hot just from a tennis match. So I've literally been gone, and my wife has been running things here at the house for several hours now between going to work and then going to play tennis and now coming back to goof off with you guys. So,
and you'd say this is all going well. This is going well.
Sure.
This is going over huge.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Cool. Awesome. This is why we go down to the basement.
That's
yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. So with that, guys, you know what it's time for.
What's it time for?
It is time to let's see if I can get this right.
Ooh, here, let me get mine. Hey, ready? Did you get that?
That was perfect. I think we might have the same one.
Whoa, listen to that. Oh, does he have the little nitrous thing in there?
No. I'm just good. Just good with the
Look at
audio.
you. Fantastic.
So you know the dads. Now let's introduce you to the drinks, courtesy of our fine local sponsors from Fiddlin Fish Brewing in downtown Winston-Salem, located on Trade Street. They supply us with wonderful beverages that we get to enjoy here on Triad Dads with a Drink while we talk about all sorts of nonsensical things, but we do so with great beers in our mouth.
Yes,
and
we
in our
do.
belly.
Yes, we do.
So,
Adam, do you want to tell us about the beer that you're drinking from Fiddlin Fish?
Yeah, so I am drinking one. I don't know if it's a new one, but it's one that I have not tried before. So it is new to me. It is called Fiddler's Choice, and it has a wonderful display montage of stringed instruments. There's a banjo, there's a guitar, there is what looks like a fiddle, kind of half of it's kind of cut off on there. But it's called Fiddler's Choice. It is a pale, and I'm going to take my first sip now.
And while he takes that sip, I'll read the side of the can, because this happens to be what I'm drinking too. Since we opened, this is Fiddlin Fish speaking, since we opened in 2017, Fiddlin Fish has hosted an open format old-time jam session every Monday, a traditional style of string music that has laid the foundation.
Unless there's a live podcast happening on a Monday.
That's true. We kicked him out one time. Laid the foundation for bluegrass. Old-time music has always been closely tied to the Southern Appalachian region we call home. Stop by any Monday to enjoy the jam session and pair it with a pint of this pale ale brewed in collaboration with the musicians who call Fiddlin Fish home. I've talked at length about how wonderful Monday nights are at Fiddlin Fish. Mm-hmm. That's when we have Ride Like a Fish, the bike ride, Run Like a Fish, the Run Club, and also in the corner, the string band Just a Goin'. They people come and go. They're all levels of skill. Some people have been doing it for a long time. Some are brand new to play in stringed instruments, but you got banjos and double basses and guitars and fiddles, and it's a pretty wonderful thing. Just sort of a steady beat in the background as you're having a post-ride or run beer. And one of my single favorite things about living in Winston-Salem is going there on Monday nights. So
yeah. So we're drinking the same thing, Tim. What do you think? Have you tried this one before?
I have. This is one that I have had before on draft. I've never had it from a can. So I'm about to take a sip in a moment, but I accidentally poured a little too much head. We should have.
While we let you take care of that, let's find out what Dave's drinking tonight.
Sounds good. Yeah, Dave, what you got for us?
Whoa, yeah, you really did.
I'm unfortunately drinking just a different beer tonight. So I think I've had this before. It's the Fin Chaser Pale Ale. It's from a good little brewery here in Chapel Hill, Carolina Brewery. So a nice little pale ale, nice for a summer's night like this. Yeah, we're gonna get back on the Fiddlin Fish next time I get into town.
I think we all got some. I think we're all drinking pale ales here to start.
Nice.
So,
this is delicious. Delicious as always.
Oh, that's interesting.
Excellent.
Look how different the color is.
Oh yeah, very different. Very different.
Yeah, both pale ales. I like it.
Yeah, both pale ales. Ours is a little paler. Yours is a bit amber for a pale.
It is.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the lighting, but looks fantastic.
I do have good lighting, so.
Yeah. Once again, did you face tune a little? You look like you face tuned a little, or is that just your natural sheen? He looks fantastic.
He looks like portrait mode on an iPhone.
He looks so good, though. Look how good he looks.
Let's see.
Hey, everyone, come and see how good I look.
Come see how good he looks. In audio format, everybody loves to hear us talk about how good we look.
Ooh, he's changing the lighting now.
Oh, I know. That's all like built in through the Mac, which is pretty cool.
So our thanks once again to Fiddlin Fish for sponsoring us each time we record. It's a great part of our community, and we appreciate it very much. So those are the dads. Those are the drinks. There's something else that we should chat about, and that is our dad moments of the week. So, man, it's been a while since we recorded, as usual.
Month of the quarter.
Yeah.
Dad moments of the quarter.
So you got some sweet dadmos you want to share with us?
Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Dave.
Man, I'll jump in first. So
Yeah,
my aspirational, I'm going to pull a Tim and do 2 Dadmos. So my aspirational Dadmo, which is what I first thought of, was we went up to Asheville last month to see Nickel Creek in concert, which is one of our favorite bands. We took the kids, but we realized that it was in just an open, flat, like kind of parking lot space. There was no angle to the location. It was just an outdoor spot, and so kids can't see anything, right? Because it's completely flat and they're short. So I spent most of the concert alternating picking up Sneak and then Star and then Sneak and then Star, so that they could see over and enjoy the crowd. Giving myself like probably my biggest upper body workout in 2 months, the way things are going. But then I realized like my real Dadmo is I got really obsessed with a flashlight, which is like a pretty dad thing to do, right? Like I was at Walmart and I saw this flashlight and
Wait a minute. Hang on a second.
Look.
How does one become obsessed with a flashlight?
I actually was hanging out with Dave this weekend, and I knew that was going to be his dad moment, because the number of times that he was like, we were up in the mountains, and the number of times he was like, hey, check this out. And he would shine it towards the trees. He'd be like, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Got this from Walmart. Can you believe that? That's unbelievable, right? Man, I saw this thing and I just couldn't resist. Man, look at that. Look at that. Look how far it goes. Look how far it goes. It was amazing. And he was so excited. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, that's his dad moment. That right there.
You knew it.
it's like
you knew it was
straight
coming.
up like spaceship guy from the Lego movie. Like I got real excited, like flashlight.
How'd you know that loving spaceships is my one defining trait?
It's look how small it is. This little flashlight, but it runs on a lithium-ion battery, not like a AA. And so
Is it the same
it's
flashlight they use on the Luxor in Las Vegas? I mean, is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, crazy
oh
about this
wow.
thing.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty intense.
I'm slightly impressed now. Whoa. Okay.
And listeners cannot see the flashlight, but they can hear that sweet, sweet click.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to that thing. Oh yeah.
And
That's a
it's
strong.
small,
You can
it's
really.
portable.
That's a good click.
You can hear the lithium ion in there.
Yeah.
You can really. It's a resonance.
So
That's a good
yeah,
click
the fact
right
that my kids are sick and tired of me like showing them the flashlight, and you know how much kids like a flashlight. Yeah, that was my true Dadmo. Is I went to Walmart to buy a tiny flashlight for Star, who was going to sleepaway camp and needed a flashlight, and instead came home with a big honking lithium-ion flashlight that I keep talking to strangers about. Like, sir, have you heard the good news about the Coast PX19R flashlight? Because it's just magical.
Not
Fantastic.
a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Could
Not a
be.
sponsor,
Hey,
could
you
be.
listen, folks at Coast.
I don't know if you'd find a better pitchman than Dave for that flashlight.
Man,
I'm a little concerned about the fact that you have obsessed over it so much that now your kids don't even like it. And kids love flashlights. What kid doesn't love a flashlight? But
I've
you
ruined
clearly-
flashlights for my children.
Kids love flashlights. It's
Ruined
that classic
flashlight.
adage.
It
Who-
is.
Kids,
Man,
Kids love ice cream and flashlights.
and flashlights.
kids love ice
That's
cream.
right.
Kids love flashlights.
right.
It's all true. Well, that's a killer Dadmo. How about you, Adam? You got a Dadmo?
Yeah, so mine comes back from in June, and my Dadmo was right around Father's Day. You guys may know that the U.S. Open was at Pinehurst, the one of the major golf tournaments of the year. One of my really good memories from when I was younger in high school was going to the 1999 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, the one that Payne Stewart won in dramatic fashion. And I went with my dad and my uncle. We went 3 days during the tournament. A lot of fun. And this year, I wanted to do something for Father's Day, not just take my kids, one of which my oldest, his code name is Cody. He plays golf, somewhat competitively. He enjoys the game. His younger brother doesn't play as much, but still enjoys it. And so I wanted to take them to the U.S. Open, but I was also able to buy a a ticket to take my dad and give that to him as a Father's Day gift this year. So it was cool to have 3 generations of my last name, which we don't reveal on this podcast, but 3 generations of my family, my dad, myself, my 2 sons, to go to Pinehurst for the U.S. Open. That was a lot of fun. And it was, as you guys know, like in the Sandhills in the summer, it can get brutally hot, like close to triple digits, sometimes surpassing triple digits. This was a hot day. We left our house because, it's about an hour and a half drive. Got to do parking, got to take a shuttle all the way to the course from the parking lot. We left the house probably about 6 a.m., something like that. Was able to get my kids up and get everybody moving and get out of the house before 7. Get down there. We actually got into the course around 9 a.m. And my kids in that hot heat, that sandy grounds, you get filthy walking around there. It's exhausting. And they lasted 9 hours on that course.
Whoa.
Walking around. We stayed. We didn't get home until it was dark. And like that's that time of year, like it's some of the longest days of the year. So it gets dark pretty late. And by the time we got home back to Winston, it was dark and we had an awesome day. It's just really cool experience, pictures, videos, memories, something that it's being able to create those moments where you'll look back because, the US Open doesn't come around here all that often, and to take them to a cool event like that, have them enjoy it. They truly had a lot of fun. It's stuff they wanted to tell their friends about when they got back to, when they saw them and got back to school. And it was a highlight of the summer. And so that was my dad moment. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is they were carrying those heavy golf bags the whole time.
I know, right?
Man, it's unbelievable.
I took them out there and had them caddy for me and everything.
Yeah,
and
they do a terrible job of recommending clubs, but
they were troopers. Yeah,
yeah, especially the little one.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome, man. That sounds really fun.
What you got, Tim?
I think that the most quintessentially dad thing I can think of, besides going to the beach and taking every single shower that I took in the outdoor shower, which I don't know if that's a dad thing or a beach thing.
That's not a new thing for you. That's like
no, it's what I do every time, and it's one of my single favorite things. I've said before, and actually was talking to a coworker today, and said that the best beers are beach beers, shower beers, and if you can take a shower at the beach with a beer, it's just the peak of good living. The peak of good living. Yeah. So that was one. I'd say that,
and then if it's a Fiddlin Fish beer, then it's
even better. And some of them
almost too much to take.
Too much to take. So that was one thing that came to mind. But since I wasn't sure if that was a full a quintessentially dad moment as much as a quintessentially beach moment, I think that this summer so far, I've on 3 separate occasions stayed up until 12:30 or 1 in the morning making pickles because
I thought you were going to say
our garden has just turned out a whole heap and truckload of cucumbers, and you can't let them go to waste. You can't waste those cucumbers. Can't waste them. You got to do something with them. They pile up. You got to do something with them. Got to make those pickles. So dill and bread and butter pickles. I tried a new recipe this year because my pickles came out mushy last year, and don't want that to happen again. So pickling. Water bath canning, set up a little pickling kitchen on our covered patio in our house. And you know what? Bib overalls, chainsaw, making pickles. I'm just leaning into this whole.
That is without question a dad moment.
I'm going for it.
How would you complete the sentence in your early 20s if you would say, I was staying up till 12:30, 1 a.m.?
Not making pickles.
Who's ready for movie night? Our friends at the Ginther Group Real Estate are proud to sponsor another season of innovation and cinema at Bailey Park in downtown Winston-Salem's Innovation Quarter. The next film is Barbie on Friday, September 20th. Bring your chair or blanket to Bailey Park for a great night of cinema from Aperture and beverages and food from a variety of local vendors. Pre-film fun begins at 6:30 p.m. and the movie begins at dark. These magical movie nights are made possible by the Ginther Group. the real estate experts we trust and showcase right here on the Triad Podcast Network. Check their social media for info on each upcoming movie night. And for your real estate needs, call 336-283-8689 or visit theginthergroup.com. Buying, selling, investing, or just learning. Whatever you need, start now. And like me, you can become a Ginther Group client for life.
Life is full of celebrations, birthdays, holidays, life milestones, and so much more. And who has been helping generations of families celebrate these events? Our friends at Dewey's Bakery. And even if you aren't planning for something in the near future, you don't have to wait to enjoy something savory and delicious from Dewey's. Maybe you just need something to get you through your Mondays. Drop by every Monday for a free Cake Square Day. No purchase necessary. Just come celebrate the start of a new week. So, if you're hearing this ad on a Monday and you're in your car, reset that GPS and get to one of their 3 Triad locations immediately in Winston-Salem at Thruway and Renolda Manor, plus one in Greensboro at Friendly Shopping Center. And any day of the week, you can find the perfect item with fast and easy ordering options at local.deweys.com. Plus, Dewey's does so much to help celebrate our community. To date, they've given back over $4 million to local schools, churches, and other nonprofits. Your next celebration isn't complete without something special from Dewey's Bakery. Dewey's. Celebrate every day.
Well, man, that's some daddish times that we've had.
Yeah.
So I think that the only thing left to do is, okay, Adam, I need you to stay really still.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Stay. Don't
What
look.
is it?
Don't.
What is it?
Don't turn
What?
around. Do not turn around.
Is there a bug? Is there a spider?
There's something
a
worse
snake?
than it's
Is it
something
an
more
elephant?
impressive
An
than a
elephant.
bug or a spider. It's larger than an elephant, more fearsome than a spider.
King
It's
Kong.
got a looming presence. Don't look it in the eye. Look,
Someone from the
turn
Paw Patrol.
so slowly turn.
Is it
right
bl- is it
behind
Bluey?
you? It is not Bluey. Right behind you is a round.
Oh, wow.
You see it now?
Oh.
You see it? It's the
came out of
wheel, baby.
nowhere.
It's the wheel. And let me tell you, it's a wheel problem.
Dave, shine your flashlight on it so I can see it better.
Yeah, that's that. Absolutely, illuminate.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Illuminate.
Did you see how quick I was with that? Did you see how quick?
Ooh,
He
booyah,
can see
You
it.
got
kasha.
that
man.
flashlight.
He's got the quickest click in the West.
Yeah, yeah, he does. He's got a quick click.
Click.
Got a quick click. Got a quick click. Yep. So yeah, why don't you give that thing a spin, and
Okay.
we'll see whose topic we're going to bring up first. At this point in the show, every week we.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spin it in the middle of your sentence.
Why would it be a problem for you to spin in the middle of the sentence?
After you finish your sentence.
Why would it be a problem? At this point, we spin the wheel, which makes a very authentic, very natural, diegetic sound of a wheel spinning, and that's what you just heard. There's no reason. I just didn't want to interrupt it because the wheel is very imposing. And whoever's name the wheel lands on presents us with a topic to discuss. So, Adam, can you tell us whose name the wheel landed on?
The wheel landed.
Can you be a little quieter?
My kids just told me to be quieter.
I
They're still
heard that.
awake, by the way.
I heard that.
Oh, hello there. This is
Dad,
Nugget.
Dad,
have something
can
you
be a
wanna
little
say?
quieter?
I'm leaving all this in, by the way.
Yeah, you better. Dad, can you be a little quieter?
You want to spin the wheel?
What wheel?
Do you want to spin the what wheel? It's right in front
wheel?
of you.
It's right in front of your face, kid.
Do you want to spin the wheel? Do you want to spin it? Go like this.
I want to spin the wheel.
She wants to spin the wheel.
Okay.
Okay. It landed on you, Dave.
Oh, Dave.
All right. All right. So my topic is prompted by this last weekend's jaunt back to the house I grew up in. Do you have any items that you have kept since your childhood that you are aware of and that you've still got? And is that something you would give or share with your kids? And so what prompted this is, so Sneak got into card collecting over the last year. So Sneak, one of his friends came up and was like, hey, do you want to trade Pokemon cards? And he was like, yes. I don't have any Pokemon cards though. The friend was like, "Oh, fine, hold on," and then came
You'd
back
like to
and just gave
borrow
him.
any of our 5,000 cards.
Yeah, no, the kid like just gave him a binder and a bunch of pages and like 500 cards, and he was like, "Sort these and then we'll trade." So he gave away his own cards to trade. So he's got those. He's got some baseball cards. And so I kept telling him, I was like, buddy, I've got every single sports card that I ever obtained as a child, starting with 1986 Topps baseball cards and running through about 1994 or 5, like Upper Deck basketball cards. That was my period. And so this weekend when I was home, I pulled all of them into a giant box and brought home, I don't know, probably like 2,000 or 3,000 old baseball cards, which are largely worth nothing due to the glut of the 1980s and 90s market, but still fun. Like as we're going through, and I'm like, oh look, it's like an Ivan Rodriguez rookie card. I'm like, that's worth like $10. Like I looked it up, like so having fun, just putting cards in slots and just enjoying that and kind of reliving my youth at the same time and remembering how much I treasured my signed Larry Johnson 1991 rookie card as my favorite player. Grandmama was something else. So
tell Sneak that Ivan Rodriguez's nickname was Pudge. Get his reaction.
Right.
Hey, another thing, you sent us some pictures of those cards that you found. And one of the things that occurred to me that is appropriate for a dad pod is you had a Del Curry card and the signed Del Curry. And my first thought, despite him being an enormously accomplished athlete, was, hey, look, it's Steph's dad.
Steph's dad. Yeah.
So you never know. One day we might all end up being, Piglet's dad, Sneak's dad, Cody's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's
pretty awesome.
That's mine.
Cool. I like that.
How about you guys? You got anything?
Did you guys ever collect Pogs?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes.
Did not.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I knew what they were, but I never had them.
I got into a pretty hardcore phase of Pogs for like a month, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's how long everyone's Pog phase lasted. was a
like
good
as long as fidget spinners.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the Pogs, we had Pogs and a binder with like little spots for it, kind of like kind of like you would with a baseball card. And we definitely did baseball cards mostly. But yeah, Pogs, we had our Pog moment. Yeah, I don't know where those went, but they existed for a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
Brief shining.
My answer can be pretty quick because mine's very similar to Dave's because I too have kept all of my baseball cards from when I collected them as a kid. They're actually here at the house, and most of them are in our attic, but some of them are in a room downstairs stored away where the kids have found them and looked at them. And one day I never told them about my collection. I figured maybe that would arrive at some point. But one day they opened them and they looked at them and they all of a sudden became interested and started asking me questions. He's like, can we have some of those cards? Like, can we create our own collection? I was like, yeah, like, sure. One day we can go through them and I'll introduce you to some of these players that you've never heard of before. Probably all of them you've never heard of before. But yeah, cool. We can go through these. But yeah, I have every card I ever collected still stored away. And it's a ton of it. It's kind of like you, Dave. It's like it's thousands of cards. But the other thing is like I would say like old video games maybe, but now you can get that stuff digitally. Like you can get RBI baseball. My kids have actually enjoyed playing old Tecmo Bowl, which is cool. So like, you can play like the new NCAA or the new EA Sports college football game, but they still get a kick out of playing Tecmo Bowl, which is awesome because that was the football game that I loved when I was a kid. So yeah, but I think my answer is very similar to yours, Dave. It would definitely be baseball cards.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a great answer for this. My family.
Well, great. Moving on.
No, my family is my parents are they live. They got divorced when I was like 10, but both of them separately in the time between the time that I moved out and the present had house fires, and in both situations, a lot of my like stuff, like in one case I had all these kind of treasures in a trunk, like a steamer trunk, in my mom's storage room, next to her garage. And there was a house fire that was started by a cousin who parked her scooter, her moped, type scooter, like a Vespa, in the garage. And it had she just picked it up from the shop. It had some faulty wiring in it, and it caught on fire, caught the house on fire. The family, I wasn't there. Everyone was fine. But it was a wild experience. And along the way, a ton of our stuff, like our heirlooms, got burned. And similarly with my dad, while I was in college, my dad's house caught on fire and burned a lot of so I don't have a lot of my mementos. Some of them have been sort of passed down to my kids in aggregate. I think I maybe have talked about this before, but Hot Wheels cars were a big deal for our family when I was a kid. And to this day, I put a Hot Wheels car in everyone's stocking at Christmas. So my kids have a running total of, Hot Wheels cars that they get every year. And I give one to my brother and my wife. It's just Hot Wheels cars are a thing. But they're not necessarily the originals. I do have a few Hot Wheels cars that I've had for a long time, for various reasons that I've shared with my kids. But I think that I do have a few things still socked away, things that went off to college with me from home that eventually I'll share with my kids. Some comic books and things that my older daughter is starting to get into a little more, that if I think some of them are a little grown up for her still, but at some point I'll probably share with her, and some books and things like that, that I'll share. But yeah, a lot of my little kids stuff all got burned up, so appreciate that stuff, your little treasures, and protect them. But it's not a big deal. It's a reminder that it's all just stuff. So I don't have necessarily a lot of heirlooms. There might be something I'm forgetting, but I
think Hot Wheels cars is a good answer.
Yeah,
it's a good answer. Yeah,
both as examples and also as a tradition that we established based on. I mean, that and GI Joes were the two toys that were relatively inexpensive, and for 4 sons, they were like, man, some Christmases we would just get showered in GI Joes and Hot Wheels toys, because the parents could go to Walmart and spend $80 and like make it rain in our house in the 80s with Hot Wheels cars and GI Joes. So
I have 3 questions actually stemming from that, none of which are my dad or my wheel topic. First, what was your wife's reaction the first time you gave her a Hot Wheels car?
She saw it coming. And I think the first one she actually got would have been like going to my family Christmas and one getting put in her stocking.
Okay.
So, it wasn't unexpected. She was like, this is happening. I'm going to get a little die-cast car in my stocking. Okay. So, and I think now she appreciates it. So but it wasn't, you don't blindside somebody with a Hot Wheels in their stocking.
You could, I'd love
you could.
All right.
You could. I think there was a conversation before.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that when you were a kid, you were either Team G.I. Joe or like Team Transformers? Or I guess you could substitute like Ninja Turtles in there too. Because I don't want to say I was anti G.I. Joe, but I was apathetic toward G.I. Joe, and I was Transformers all day long.
We didn't have a lot of Transformers. We had a lot of G.I. Joes. Some of it was we got it from some older cousins as hand-me-downs.
But do you feel like it had to be one or the other?
I don't know if it had to be, because we did Ninja Turtles for a while too. We had a solid Ninja Turtle collection, and we just didn't have a ton of Transformers. I think they were like a little like as simple as they costed a little more, I think, at the store. So it was a little harder for our parents. We had a few, but we had some that came from like McDonald's, like little McDonald's toys, Transformers, like the little pared down Transformer guys, or a few small ones. Except my brother did have Optimus Prime, my older brother. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Dave,
but I don't know.
Was it
I don't
a
know
rivalry or no? Am I
No, well,
overblowing
we had
this?
both, and it was kind of like equal opportunity, and they would sometimes work together. We'd bring in,
Yeah.
it was like the mashup before Hollywood was doing it. Take the
Autobots,
Oppenheimer.
roll out.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
So good.
Favorite Ninja Turtle? Have we had this conversation before?
Donatello.
Yeah, Donatello.
Yes, my man. Oh, are you serious? All three
Trio
of
of
us?
Donatellos. Hey, come on.
How about
look,
that?
look at us. Look at us coffee hall dorks. Yeah, you kidding me? Donatello.
That's amazing.
He does machines, bro.
He does machines.
And the bow
right.
staff was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
Though
All
I
right.
liked them all.
My third question. What is the closest that you guys have come to doing something catastrophic to your home?
Like current home?
Yeah. Like, have you come close to maybe burning it down?
Have I come
here.
close to burning down
Like,
my home?
You know, trying to change a light fixture without turning off the breaker.
Yeah,
There's a breaker.
you've almost burned down your home 16 times.
I have.
I don't know that I have.
The
I
one that
think
stands out the most involved a smoker.
I think the closest I've come to doing something catastrophic in my home is accidentally killing myself a few times. Like there have been a few times where I've almost hurt myself badly enough that like that would be bad for the home value because it'd be like
You told a
some
story
guy.
of like using a chainsaw very unsafely.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those. There was another time that I was trying to stuff a bunch of stuff into a like a rolling yard, like a
Yeah.
garbage cart,
Yeah.
and I ended up sitting up in it. We were trying to move out of a rental house when we first moved to Winston, and I was like sitting on top of it trying to force it down, and I sort of was like using my body weight and kind of bouncing just to like force it so that the top would close, so that we could get more stuff in. I don't remember. And I came up at one point and the wheels, like it rocked back enough for the wheels to engage and the whole cart rolled forward. So it came out from under me and I landed on my back hard enough to knock the wind out of me. And I looked up and like right above my head, there was a landscape timber right there that if I had been a foot up and had hit that on the base of my skull, that would have been $1 million
Wooden
baby.
landscape. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a big
Like
one
a
of those
border,
big
yeah.
timbers.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. All the time I was like, wow, that could have been the way that I died. And that would have been really stupid. I would have been very frustrated.
Not the way you want, not the way you envision going.
You definitely don't. You want to go, if you're going to go, you want to go, like fighting off a dragon or something. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be like, how'd you go? You're up at the pearly gates next to like a half burned knight and like a guy with a bandolier of ammunition across his chest. And they're like, how about you, pal? It was a landscape timber. So I'm sorry, what'd you say? Anyway,
Dave, what have you ever had like a good Clark Griswold moment like that?
I don't think so. I was trying to think while you were talking, and I can't remember anything that was that substantive. I don't think so. I'm gonna attribute it to the safety class I had to take in my furniture major. I had to do a whole class on safety.
That's true.
I'm going to attribute it to the fact that Adam recently texted us a picture of himself in a beekeeper outfit to go take on a yellow jacket
I didn't
nest.
mention that for my dad moment.
Yeah, I know. And Dave's response was, "Pay somebody." I think that's how you're living so long.
Yeah,
Because you're like, no way, I'm doing that on my own.
I'm out.
So I mean, I'm severely allergic to yellow jackets, and there's a yellow jacket nest that had been created underneath the base of our basketball goal in our driveway, which is stationed in between our garage and the downstairs entrance to our home. So like it's an area that gets a decent amount of foot traffic. So like it had to be dealt with. And so, because it was underneath the base, like it was not, you could not attack it, spray it without moving the basketball goal. Like you had to tip the basketball goal down onto the driveway so that the base was exposed and then spray it. And so I knew that as soon as I moved that basketball goal down, those Yellow Jackets were going to be startled, and I was going to end up in the emergency room potentially, or yelling for my wife to grab an EpiPen. And so we have.
Are you allergic to all bees or just Yellow Jackets?
It just appears to be Yellow Jackets. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Honestly, like,
I mean, you don't want to, play a game of F around and find out. So
I was going to say, I don't really want to test it. And, just get stung by a bunch of stuff. But, our neighbor has honeybees. And so he has a beekeeper's outfit, and he let me borrow it. And I sent you guys the picture. But, my wife and I were so paranoid that I didn't just put on the beekeeper outfit. I also layered myself in like 3 layers of clothing underneath. So like there was no way that a stinger was going to penetrate all of that. And so, got the beekeeper outfit on over the top of 3 layers of clothes, wore gloves. I mean, everything. And went out at night when it was a little more dormant, pulled it down, waited a little while for the bees to settle down, and then went out there and sprayed the hell out of that thing, and we got rid of it.
I like the 3 layers of clothes, as if the bug's going to be like, hey, got through the suit, but like those basketball shorts, I couldn't do it, man. I did my best. I couldn't do it. It was too much, bro.
Oh, man. Okay, I think those are all of my follow-up questions. It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor, and that's Jennifer Johnson of 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit 3magnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors, retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Private Client Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors. 3 Magnolias Financial Advisors and Private Client Services are not affiliated. Private Client Services is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
Yeah, here's a quick public service announcement. I'm on to beer number 2 from Fiddlin Fish. This is Pez Borracho, which is their Mexican-style lager. For the non-Spanish speaking folks in the audience, Pez, fish, Borracho, drunk. This is Drunk Fish beer, and it's a Mexican lager, and it is delicious. When I have this at Fiddlin Fish, I have them do a Pez Borracho, and then take just a tiny bit of the key lime sour and just do just a dollop of that in the top of the Pez Borracho, and you end up with like a Mexican style. It's basically, like a Corona with lime. It's pretty great.
Great sound, too.
That wasn't even my sound. That was Dave.
Fiddlin Fish, man. Nothing but bangers. Nothing but bangers.
All hits, no skips.
That's right. Speaking of hits, should we spin the wheel?
Hey, we should spin the wheel. Let's see what we
get.
If
it lands on Tim, this is going to be a beautiful segue.
Yeah, who could know? Who could know?
We'll know. We'll see. Only the wheel knows. My daughter left, so she's not going to spin the wheel, even though she said she wanted to.
Poor thing.
All right, here we go.
Will got stuck there for a second.
Almost landed on me, but Tim, it actually did land on you. So we
did it land on me?
We get to have the silky smooth segue into all hits, no skips.
All hits, no skips. So for our loyal listeners, you will know that a few years ago, we put together an Apple Music playlist that is dedicated to dad music. That's right, to music that is sort of dad rock essentials. We called it Dad Songs from Triad Dads with a Drink. This was 25 tracks that we put together collectively. It featured such classics as Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen, Africa by Toto, Bust a Move by Young MC, You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. I know who that one came from. Ain't No Man by the Avett Brothers, Living in America, James Brown, Starseed, Our Lady Peace. We've got September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, My Sharona by The Knack. It's just a beautiful collection of music that could be classified as dad songs. Each of those songs was offered by one of us, justified in some way. We will post the link to the playlist once again, and you can join us in our definition of dad music. But in order to keep that rhythm moving forward, we're going to add some new tracks to that. So each of gentlemen, I have asked that everyone supply 5 additional tracks to our dad songs from Triad Dads of the Drink. This is a great way to bring us out of the summer and into the fall. We're going to be taking, your beautiful fall road trips. We got football games coming on. We got some tailgating happening. It's time to play some music. And who doesn't like it when some dad somewhere goes, "Oh, I got a playlist," and raises his hand, and you know what you're in for a little bit, but you never quite know. There's always going to be some surprises in there. So does everyone have their 5 songs to add to the list? Yeah, I see thumbs up. I see thumbs up everywhere. Yep. All right, so maybe to get us started, we will go to Dave. Dave, what's your first song?
Okay, so my first song is a new one. It's been probably the most played song of our family for the last 6 months or so. It's from the new Avett Brothers album, and it's Love of a Girl. It is an absolute banger of a song. If you haven't heard it, it rocks. It is upbeat, and the kids love it, and I love it. And anytime we are listening to music together that we both love, it's a win. So that's my first song.
Fantastic. Nice. Avett Brothers are a great, we always got to remind ourselves when we think of, a lot of times when our generation thinks of things as being dad energy or dad music or dad whatever, we're thinking of our dads. So it puts it into that generation. But it's a good reminder that this is Avett Brothers. That's dad music. For our kids, that's dad music, even though they may like it too. How about you, Adam? What's your first track?
Yeah, so I'm going back. I tried to think of, for dad songs, I tried to think of like music that I enjoyed when I was younger, and most dads would relate to because it takes them back to a time probably in the 90s. When they were kind of coming into their own musical self. There were 2 albums that I recall most vividly from like when I was in middle school. One was Green Day's Dookie, and the other was Weezer's Blue Album.
Yes.
And so I'm going from Weezer's Blue Album, Only in Dreams.
Oh, fantastic.
It is a slow burn, but it finishes so strong, and it's got some banging moments in that track.
I also have a song from Weezer's Blue Album that I may push to the side and use one of my alternates. But for now, let's keep moving on to Dave.
Wait, you don't get to go?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Your first song.
Sorry. My first song. I'm good at counting.
You can go too. Is your question.
Sorry. My first song is one that actually, Dave, I was chatting with your brother about this weekend. This is a song that has 2 things going for it. It's a double dad song because it is a song that was written by Bruce Springsteen, but that ultimately the version that I am going to mention was by the band, and that is the song Atlantic City. Just an absolutely beautiful song. That's my favorite version of it. It's aching, and it is somehow more Springsteen than Springsteen when it's Levon Helm and the band doing it. So Atlantic City from 1990's Jericho is my pick for my number 1 dad song. All right, Dave, round 2.
You are terrible.
All right, well,
I'm terrible at this. It's the Pez Borracho.
That's right. There are 3 of us. You just have to just go around the triangle, man. Go around the triangle.
I got it. Clockwise,
you got it. This time you got it.
Clockwise.
All right, well, that's a perfect segue because my next song is actually Bruce Springsteen. So this is another one of his more recent songs. It's a jam. It's one that we all rock out to in our family. You can tell it's kind of a theme for me. So it's Ghosts by Bruce Springsteen, which is a great rock song, and also an homage or him honoring those that have come before, and folks that he's lost. So it's got a kind of a deep melancholy thread to it, but at the same time just being an absolute rip of a song. So Ghost by Bruce Springsteen is my second.
That's
Adam.
awesome.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you an assist there. Adam.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So my next one, again, kind of a throwback for dads, going back to like the 80s a little bit. But my younger son, Picky Eater, has really taken to the drums. And so he's starting to learn like how to play various songs. And one of the songs that he did in his most recent performance is on our current playlist, which is Africa by Toto. But I am going with the song that he is currently learning how to play, which is Separate Ways by Journey.
Oh man, what a good song.
Oh, it's so fun listening to him play that song too. I love it. Like he practices it every day, and I'm usually there with him because I play the song from my phone, and he puts on headphones so he can hear it as he's playing. And so I get to sit there and like watch him jam to the song. So like I put on the list just because like that also kind of almost doubles as like a dad moment too.
When I think of dad music, one of the albums that I think of that, again, this is, we talked about how some of these songs are music from our generation. Some of it goes back a little farther. The band Dire Straits is a band that is to me very much a dad band.
Yes.
And their quintessential album was Brothers in Arms from 1985. And it was tough for me to pick which song to use. I thought about using Money for Nothing, maybe, or Walk of Life. But ultimately, the one that really stuck out to me was So Far Away, the opening track to Brothers in Arms. But it's so far away from me. I think that's just such a good song. And has a lot of Big Dad energy. So that is my next pick. So far away from me.
I learned about Money for Nothing from Weird Al before I actually heard the Dire Straits version of it.
And the
Hillbilly song.
Yeah. The other song I considered from Dire Straits was Sultans of Swing.
Great song.
Yeah, which is actually not on Brothers in Arms, but because Brothers in Arms is such a good album, I went with one of them from that. So I'm gonna say, So Far Away.
Good one.
That's a good
Dave.
one. I don't know if I know that song too. So that's what I like about this segment is it gives me new great songs. One, it gives me a whole playlist to listen to tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited about.
I bet if you played this song, you would recognize it. Starting from the opening guitar lick, from the time he starts playing guitar, Knopfler starts playing guitar, you would probably go, "Oh, this one, yeah, got it."
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give that a go after the pod is done tonight. All right, so for number 3 for me, I'm gonna go way back. So this is a song that one of the ones I remember most being a kid. Just listening to music that my dad wanted to listen to. My dad was a huge jazz fan. And so I'd have like just haunting, like positive memories of listening to All Blues from Kinda Blue by Miles Davis, 1959 seminal record. And it's just got that very chill, smooth opening to it, do, 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 do. I don't think that's going to get us, get fined or shut down.
We're good. We're fine.
Anytime I hear just those first couple notes, it takes me back, 40 years, and I'm sitting with my dad on the couch or in a car or something. And so I don't know if it's dad music, but it was definitely my dad's music. So that's my number 3 for the list.
Good answer.
Amazing.
So I feel like, they weren't necessarily, I was not into them the way some people were, but I feel like if you were to talk about like quintessential dad bands, I feel like Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
It's got to be in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I was really just trying to think like, what's the song that really gets me excited when I hear it? Because there's such a library to choose from, right? But I went with So Much to Say. So much to say,
So for my next song, my wife tried to challenge me to not use any 90s music. She is not a fan of 90s rock.
challenge.
Yeah, traitor to the generation. But and I said, look, there's no way that the other guys are going to do it. But I'm actually also going to break that truce. Love you, baby. But I got to say that a quintessential dad song that came to me was Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
That's one that I play in the car with the kids and hit the, when it gets to the I don't ever want to live, that you can't not sing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good in every situation. Who doesn't love that song? It's a great song. So that's my next pick.
Take me to
Just
the
Anthony
place I
Kiedis just
love.
running at the end in slow motion. That music video as a kid was like iconic. I mean, it's still iconic.
Yeah.
But
And it's such a time and place too. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, all of their music takes me to a specific time and place in life, and it's so good, and it's evocative of like an LA that I've never experienced and that will never come back again. And I think it, is suggestive of, to me, like everything from Terminator 2 to the Rodney King riots, like it's just like that early 90s LA that was sort of just rough and sun-washed and crusty. And, Anthony Kiedis lived all that. So, Under the Bridge, that's my pick.
Good one.
I also realized
Dave.
that I'm
Sorry.
your wife might be a traitor to the generation, but I'm apparently a traitor to myself because somehow I have no 90s songs on this entire list of mine.
I can't believe because she was sure. I was sure that you'd be the first one to break that truce.
I know.
And instead, me and Adam are like battling for which one of us are going to put Weezer's Blue Album. And meanwhile, you're like, Miles Davis, please.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Next time. I can't wait. We're going to do this again. We can do this like once
Yeah,
a
we
year.
can
and
keep
just
doing
make
it.
the most
Keep doing it once a year.
music list
Every
of
season
playlists.
we have
Every
to do this.
season. Sounds great.
All right, so number 4 for me, I don't know if this is breaking a rule, but I'm going back to a band that I've already done this time. So we're going back to the Avett Brothers, which are just real strong in our household, and the song "Live and Die." And that song is for some reason, that was a song that I sang to Star at night, like every night when she was in a crib. And she would be like, Daddy, sing me songs. And I was like, I can't sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star one more time. So I was like, I'm going to sing Avett Brothers because we were listening to that album a lot at the time. And she loves it. She still remembers the song as like the song, one of the songs that I sang her. To the point that one time her Nana was staying and watching her for the night. She was like, Nana, sing to me. And Nana started singing like, a normal song. She was like, no, sing me the Avett Brothers song. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't know that one. So Live and Die is a little bit chiller song than Love of a Girl, but another great one. And if you haven't listened to it, I think you'll like it. So that's number 4 for me. That's the penultimate on my list.
My ongoing lullaby was on our first round of this, "Forever Young" by Bob Dylan, the slow version. That was
Not by Rod Stewart.
Not by Rod Stewart, and not by the European group that went "Forever Young." I want to be forever young. Neither of those. No, the
With Jay-Z, just crushing it.
That was my Jay-Z. That's all I got. Yeah,
You nailed it.
Thank you.
Limited impression.
No, that's all I got. That's all I'm going to do ever. But I got
good.
that. Thank you. So Adam, what you got next?
How many have we done so far?
That was
number
Dave's
5?
fourth. This is
Okay.
your 4th as well, I believe.
This is my 4th. Okay. So back when I was a kid, I used to make these mix CDs called Wit Mixes.
Yes.
And so I wanted to pick something from that original mix. Tim, I think you actually made this Apple playlist for me based on another podcast I did, because I brought this in the car when I was taking a road trip to Norfolk, Virginia for work with a coworker of mine. And I think I wrote down all of the tracks, and you created this playlist for me because it has your name on it when I pull it up on my Apple Music playlist. But I'm going to go.
No, it's on my Apple Music playlist too. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to a song that a band that I just introduced my kids to. We try to do what's called the Summer of Music, where we're taking road trips somewhere. We try to play like a good mix of different bands that my wife and I like. And so the most recent one that we did was also a favorite band, I think, of both of you guys, Collective Soul. We're all fans of Collective Soul in this podcast. It's not my favorite song of theirs, but it's the one that I like to jam to, and that's what I think makes for a good dad song. So I'm going with "Listen" by Collective Soul.
All right.
I love that song. I love that song so much.
But it's not my favorite song.
It's one of my favorites.
It's
What's your
one of
favorite
my
song?
favorites. My favorite song is "Run."
Run's good. Run's a really beautiful song.
Yeah, my
Run's
favorite
really
song of theirs is "Run." But that's
Listen and
not
Bleed are
that's not
probably
a song
my
you
two
necessarily
favorite
jam
songs.
to. I like singing. Run.
I watched him Listen on like the VH1.
So good.
A lot of time. God,
Yeah. So
this is gonna be the
there you
best
go.
playlist ever.
It really is.
We were all hanging out on my 40th birthday, and I made a playlist that contained one song from every year that I had been alive to that point. And a Collective Soul song featured on that, which was my favorite to jam to from Collective Soul, and that's Heavy. But that is not what I am adding to the dad music list.
It falls on me.
So good. That's one that I still play hard in the car. This is the spot that I was going to put in a song from Weezer's Blue album, my favorite from the Blue album, which is My Name is Jonas. But in the interest of not adding two songs from the Blue album, instead, I'm going to suggest one of my alternates, We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. There is something about We Didn't Start the Fire that, first of all, everyone starts singing along with it, and at some point chickens out, except for the people who truly know every lyric. Dave, are you one of those people? I feel like you're one of those people.
No, I wish I sing
you're
it
not?
like I know every word, but I get real lost after like.
Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah.
Marilyn
Exactly.
Monroe.
So we didn't start the fire. REM's Into the World as we know it.
I totally mixed up. It's the end of the world with.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah.
When I said
Leonard
that's
Bernstein.
totally REM's.
That is REM.
End
Right.
of the
So
world.
you see that those are two songs that everyone starts singing. And then eventually the third song in that category to me is Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast, which is another one that people get real energetic about and try to sing along with and usually wander off at some point. But We Didn't Start the Fire is one that Piglet, my older daughter, she's got a friend who is really into music of the 70s and 80s. And she's a really cool kid. And she loves Billy Joel and various other bands, but loves the song We Didn't Start the Fire. So this became a tradition recently, or just a regular recurring song in our house recently. Again, We Didn't Start the Fire. And, Billy Joel, something very dad about Billy Joel's energy all the way across. And something about this song and the fact that it's like a retelling of the history, because is there anything more dad than someone showing up and having read a book about, like the, Cold War or something and just wants to tell you all about, the Cuban Missile Crisis or whatever. So yeah, We Didn't Start the Fire. That's my next pick.
How do you
great
feel
song.
about the Fall Out Boy second version of that song?
I don't know about the Fall Out Boy second version of that song.
Really? Okay.
No.
There's
What is
there's
this?
Your homework. Fall Out Boy did a
not
remake of the song. Totally different lyric. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
I love the
with you,
premise.
Dave.
Like, I
big,
love the
big
idea.
thumbs down.
Like, I
hey,
love the
they
idea.
took a chance. They
Is it called We Did Start the Fire? We Started the Fire? Is that what it's
No,
called?
it's just it's basically just they made all of the lines in the song just more contemporary.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well,
what if it started
fair
in
enough.
80s and went till now? Because that's more time than it had expired or had gone by in the original Billy Joel song from the 50s to the 80s.
They took a big swing, and I applaud that, but it was a swing and a miss.
I do laugh that the last event he mentions is Cola Wars.
Yeah.
Cola
the one that
Wars,
broke
I
it.
can't take it anymore. Yeah, like
broke it.
Cola Wars did it. Pepsi versus Coke was the thing that put you over the edge. Is that how soft we were in the 80s? That we were like, I just
Yes.
can't anymore. Just one more person talks about Tab,
R.I.P. Tab.
R.I.P. Tab.
Also, I'm gonna put a fourth song, Tim, into your category of songs that people start real big on and then flame out in a major way. One
Which
Week
one's
by
that?
Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, it's been Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick
Yeah.
and your brain stops ticking. Watching X-Files when the lights on. We're Don LeMay's on. I hope the Smoking Man's in this one. I'm not going to sing anymore or talk anymore of that.
Something
but,
about Harrison Ford.
Like
Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like Sting, I'm tantric. Like Snickers, guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. I don't make films, but if I did that, I have a samurai.
Yeah,
Gotta get a set of better clubs, the kind with tiny nubs so that my irons aren't always flying off the backswing. Gotta get in tune with Sailor Moon because that cartoon has got the boom anime babes that made me think the wrong thing. I can't help it if I think you're funny when you're mad. I try hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean? Well, you soon will. I have a history of wearing
I have
my
a tendency.
I have a tendency to wear my heart on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt. It's been 1
Man.
week. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up. That's it.
But it's hard to sing. You can say it. I know all the lyrics thanks to late 90s MTV, but I don't. I have a hard time singing it. Anyway, Dave.
That was impressive. That was.
Do we each have
I
one
did
more
not
song
expect
to
you be able
give
do
here?
that.
Or
I believe we've got our last song, our ultimate
right.
song, our final
All right.
song.
So my last
Dave,
song
what's
is
yours?
in the honor of this podcast and the three best dads that I ever
That
knew.
anyone could have
I'm going
were
to
the
pick
three
"What We
best
Deserve" by Weekend Excursion.
yes.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. Our second Weekend Excursion.
I think we should all pick a Weekend Excursion song for our last
Every
song,
time.
shouldn't
We already have one. We've got Better Man on the
That's right.
playlist
we? Our
already.
theme song.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm going with Queen for my fifth song, and I'm going with "Don't Stop Me Now."
Yes. Great song. I love that song so much. Good.
I do too.
That was Sneak's favorite on his 1-year-old birthday party. That was his favorite song.
I think
that's
when we
also
did,
favorite.
I think when we started this whole summer of music idea with our kids in the car, we started with the Beatles. And my younger son has become a huge fan of the Beatles, but I think the second band we went to was Queen, to just introduce as many different songs as possible. And yeah, that's the one that always gets me. I love that song.
Awesome. My final song is one that, again, reminds me of both my dad, but also I just feel like it's a quintessential dad song. And that is Reelin' in the Years by Steely Dan.
Steely Dan is a great dad.
Such a dad band.
Yeah.
Such a dad. Steely Dan is, I once reached a point in my life where I was like, I like everything about Steely Dan. I like that they're sort of these bookish people who play this smooth music, but with like really complex lyrics and all that. But I don't actually enjoy listening to their music at all. I wish I liked them more than I do. But Reelin' in the Years is one that every time it comes on, you've got that opening guitar riff that everyone it's just a great song. It's wistful, but again,
you kind of feel that way when you hear like Allman Brothers too.
yeah, I love Allman Brothers, and I think Allman Brothers is on our list. Blue Sky, I think I put it on last time. But Steely Dan's one that my dad likes a lot. Liked, when we were growing up, and continues to like, as far as I know. I'll ask him. I'll call him right now. Call my dad. Do you still like Steely Dan? But yeah. So that's my final pick.
Yeah. Hey, go. We've got this all set up as an Apple playlist. We'll share the link to the playlist in the show notes, so you too can enjoy the dad playlist from Triad Dads from a Drink and just have a much better experience on your next road trip.
Yeah. Live it up. Live it up.
All right, here we go. One more spin of the old wheelie wheel.
We're all ready.
And yet again, it lands on somebody it didn't land on the previous two spins.
Who
it
is
landed
who?
on me. It's
Hey,
me.
how about that?
It's my turn. So, Tim, you went with dad songs. for a dad playlist.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a little bit of around the horn here, and we don't have to go with a certain number. I just want to kind of go like let's just rattle them off. We'll go one after another here, but I want to go with good dad phrases. Good dad phrases, either that your dad said or that you find yourself saying way too often. And I'll go ahead and get us started here, because I think we've all said this, and I think we would probably put this at the top of the list. Like, we're not ranking these, but if we were, I think all of us would have this phrase as number one, which is, you walk outside because it just started raining in the middle of summer, and you look around and you say, to no one in particular, man, we really needed this rain.
It's true.
We did.
We did, though. We did.
Tell me
you.
you've got a better hand than that. If we're talking about like a poker hand here, you got a better hand than we really needed this rain for dad.
That's an ace. No doubt. That's a strong one.
All right. Tim, what you got? What's a good dad phrase?
How about measure twice, cut once? That's more. That's more of a rule, but it's something that just sounds so dad to me. It's the sort of dad advice that you get: measure twice, cut once. That just feels very, very quintessentially dad.
Yeah.
How about you, Dave?
Hi, hungry. I'm dad.
Yes. Do you ever do hi thirsty? I'm Friday. Come over Saturday. We'll have a Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
That's perfect.
A good one.
That's a really good one.
All right, my next one is, you could either say this in the middle of a road trip or at the end of a road trip. So you could substitute a word here or there, but I'm going to go with, man, we made really good time.
Yes, really good time.
Yep.
Another one occurred to me, but I'm realizing that it's more of a mom phrase than a dad phrase, which is, does anyone have to go to the bathroom before we leave?
Oh my God.
Though I think that the dad version of that is, we're not stopping again. So make sure you use the bathroom now. Something like that.
My God.
Yeah.
Ask
Dave,
your mother.
what you got? Huh?
Ask your mother.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got a slightly different version of that for my next one, which is, what did your mom say?
That's
Yep.
It's
If
a great
I get
question.
asked the question, hey, Dad, can I have some screen time? What did your mom say? Yeah.
Yep.
One that my wife and I find ourselves shouting a lot. We've got 2 daughters, so it's just girls. It means everything. It's just girl. So you guys stretch it out. Girls.
Yeah.
Constantly girls. Girls.
It's got 7 L's.
Yeah, girl.
7.
Girl.
Man, so the one I remember, like, anytime we were doing road trips as a kid, we'd be bored, be like, oh my God, Dad, when are we going to be there? He'd be like, tomorrow.
Really? Wow.
He'd be like, you didn't ask when we were going to arrive from this trip. You asked when we were going to be there, and we will be there tomorrow. And be like,
Oh boy.
fine. When are we going to be there on this drive?
You got me on a technicality, Dad.
Jeez Louise.
One of my dad's favorite responses to the quintessential kid question of why. Anytime I asked why, my dad would just respond with, why not?
Strong. It beats because.
What do you say to that?
Or because I said so, right?
Like, what do you say to that? He never
Why
did the
not?
but because I said so. He would just go, why not?
Yeah, have you found yourself wandering into because I said so territory? Because I said so sneaks up. You never think it's going to be what you say, but eventually, after you've been like worn down by a cross-examination from a 7-year-old who is determined that they're going to wear you down, you know that it's sophistry. You're not going to get any farther. You know the thing about the conversation.
But do you find that you say it in different ways? Like, I've never done the because I said so, but I've said different words that mean the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
I've said, because I told you to do it. Why isn't that enough?
Yeah, right. Something like that. I've already said it twice. I'm not going to say it again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say it again. Hey, actually, that's my next one. That's my next dad phrase. I'm not going to ask again.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to say it again. That's another one.
Yeah.
And then I always friggin' say it again.
Yeah.
Here's a good dad one. You're at a restaurant, you finish your food, you ate the whole. There's nothing on the plate, right? They come up
Yes.
to ask. No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Send it back.
That's terrible.
Mine never
I'd
came.
like my
Nope.
money back, please.
No, thank you.
Oh my god.
I'll drop the I've pulled this so many times and I still think it's funny every time. When they bring you the check and if I'm paying, I'll look at one of my kids. It's like, you got this, right?
Yeah.
Just to see their reaction.
Yep.
The one that occurred to me was recently on a hike. I saw someone coming down the path with one of those backpack carriers with a kid in it. And I remembered when we used to carry our kids in one of those, it never failed that we would pass some, especially dads, and it would be some version of, they got the best seat in the house, or you want to give me a ride next, or man, they've got it all figured out. You know, it's always a lot of,
you want to punch
they
that
got it
person in the
all figured out.
larynx.
You want to give me a ride?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
But now that I'm not lugging a kid on my back, every time I pass a kid in one of those carriers, in the back of my brain, it's going, you should say, hey, they've got the best seat in the house. They've got it all figured out. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I cheated a little bit when you brought this up, and I Googled some quintessential dad phrases, and there were some that resonated with me hard that I'll just sort of rocket through really quick.
Let's hear 'em.
One is when there's not a price tag on an item or the cashier has trouble ringing it up, something to the effect of, guess it's free then.
I want to know.
Another is pointing a stud finder at your own chest.
When you rattle these off, I want to know if any of us have actually said these.
Yeah, so a stud finder, you point it at yourself and you go, "Oop, found it," or "It's working," when it beeps. Some version when a kid hurts themselves, and do some version of "Looks like we're going to have to amputate," or "This looks like this finger's going to have to come off." You know, which is actually really effective when the kid's upset. When you're headed out the door, what do you say? All right, what do you say? Do you say, "Let's rock and roll"?
Let's rock and roll.
Is that ever a thing you say?
Let's
rock and roll.
Stand.
Yeah, let's blow this.
Let's blow this popsicle stand. Somebody's in the bathrooms too long. What do you say through the door? Did you fall in? Is that one? Yep. This one reminds me of the someone carrying a kid on their back. When you see their neighbor washing their car or mowing their lawn. Can you do mine next? Yeah. How about when that door's left open? What do you do when the door's left open? Hey, we're not trying to heat the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna let all the cold air.
You're let all the
we're not
bugs
trying to. Yeah, exactly. How about when you're carrying something that is totally heavy, and you say it's not that it's heavy. It's just awkward. We needed this rain. How about when someone offers you an additional warranty, extended warranty, something like that, or some other thing that you consider to be a hidden charge, you say, "That's how they get you. That's how they get you." And the last one on this.
How about this? Go ahead. Last one.
Last one on this list that I will recite is after you secure something, like you tie something down in the bed of a truck or something, you say, "That's not going anywhere."
That ain't going anywhere. Yeah.
That ain't going anywhere.
Not if you do it right.
Here's one that should be on that list. Guys, it's not the heat that gets you.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the humidity.
It's the humidity. That's right.
Yes.
Oh, how about one that I didn't say, but that it reminds me of? You walk out of your office or your home or whatever. You leave your keys. You come back in to get your car keys, and you say, "Not getting very far without these." Yep. I'm gonna need those. Those are gonna come in handy.
And then, of course, if your wife does that, if she comes back in the house because she forgot something, it's like, oh wow, you back already?
You back so soon? It's so awesome.
Oh,
So
you know what else
corny.
is? You know what else is a good dad phrase? That's not actually words, but just noises put together in a very musical in a musical fashion.
What is that?
I see you're leaving me again. Said you saw me hold a hand. I do it.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode on the Triad Podcast Network. Our mission is simple: provide information, advice, and stories about the people and places that make the North Carolina Triad such a great place to be. You can find us by searching Triad Podcast Network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much wherever you like to listen. If you like what you heard and want to support the show and those that contribute, we would truly appreciate a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. It helps spread the word along, as do your shares on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Triad Podcast. To get in touch with us, simply email info@triadpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.